Well, I guess you got a hold of somebody saying you wanted to talk about a killing that you have information on.
That's correct.
Is that correct? You've been to prison. You've been in custody a number of times because of the setting we're in. Because of we're going to talk to you. I got to read you your rights.
That's not good.
Why is that bad?
I mean, that's not good at all.
Why is that bad?
Because now it's making me seem like I have a right to remain silent. And
You do.
anything I say can be will
That's what
against me. That's what the
Constitution.
Now we're off the record now.
But you're
saying we all went on the record.
Were we not before?
I mean, I didn't think there was any.
Well, what did you expect in this thing, man? You called us. What did you expect to happen?
I expected to say, hey, you guys got a couple of old murders going on.
Got more than a couple.
More than a couple.
Sure.
And I know there's some grieving families and some people out there that have spent a lot of hours, a lot of manpower, a lot of money trying to solve these crimes. Taxpayers' money. And they ended up in a dead end, pretty much. And they're still there at a dead end. So whatever it is that you guys stumped at or couldn't put together, I might be able to do that for you guys. I think I can do it pretty solid. And I think I could smash the whole case and put the guy away. Or the people away, if it's multiple people. Now in doing that, I'm risking my life. Literally, my life.
I got to tell you, man, you sound like a straight-up politician.
I'm not a politician.
You sound like it.
But I'm being very
Just talk
real.
normal to me, man. Let's just talk normal.
This is how I talk. This
Okay.
is who I am.
Okay.
So I'm being very real with you right now because this is something very real in my life. So by putting my life on the line, my life in jeopardy, my family's life in jeopardy, my family's reputation, their ethic, all of that, then yeah, we're going to have to meet halfway here.
What does
Because
that mean?
what that means is I might be able to help you out if my memory can fall back in place. It might not be able to fall back in place because it's a long time ago. People forget shit over years. But if I can grasp onto my memory and make it seem like it was yesterday, then what I'm going through right now here with my case, not that I'm guilty of anything in this case.
I don't want to talk about your case.
And I know you don't. But there might need to be some DAs that need to get involved that are higher up than my DA, Chrysopoulos, above him. Might be able to pull some strings and say, hey, this guy's going to bat for us. Not only on one, but on two. He's putting everything on the fucking line. And we're going to need to go to bat for him. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, so you're looking for some consideration on the case you're here for in exchange for information on 2 unsolved murders in San Ann.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, not pretty much. Is there anything else other than that?
No, I think a little bit more than consideration I'm looking for.
What does that mean?
Well, some options. Options would be nice. Right now I'm in a place of no options.
Okay.
So
You're looking at a third strike.
I'm looking at a third strike. I'm looking at life in prison.
Okay.
So the more options I have to work with and to choose from, the better position I'll be to think more clearly.
What you just heard, homies, is Santa and his finest making a deal with the devil, a lying devil that is Bang Bang Raza. Welcome to the Outlaw News, the Cholo journalist, the voice of the Vato Loco Hopal as well. For all you Vatos in Vatoland, the recording you just heard is of Orange County law enforcement signing up a Santa and a notorious gangster, who puts in more work for his drug habit than his actual hood. Oscar Moriel was facing 25 to life under the 3 strikes law back in '05 when he brokered a sweet deal with 2 officers from the Santa Ana gang unit to become one of Orange County Jail's shot calling snitches and one of the top informants that was used by the Face to take down Sana Ojeda and his alleged wing of the Orange County Mexican Mafia. Oscar Moriel, under the instructions and supervision of law enforcement Raza, violated the rights of fellow homies, and prisoners used threats and made up fake allegations to unsuspecting prisoners of being placed on green light, hard candy hit list, to extract a confession of specific crimes. Moriel, along with a network of jailhouse shot caller snitches, well placed inside Orange County's jail system, ran an elaborate scheme of gathering confessions, assaults on prisoners, taxing prisoners for money, or some canteen items. One murder back in '06, inside one of Orange County's jails, was linked to the jailhouse shot caller snitch network. The informants who worked the OC Mexican Mafia Sana Ojeda Fed case intentionally sent fake hit list kites to underlings, hit others, or just instigated problems between alleged warring prison gang factions so as to foster an atmosphere of hostilities and violence inside the county jail system, which also spread to the streets of Orange County Chicano barrios. These crimes would be the foundation for many of OC's biggest Chicano gang cases involving Sana and his alleged role in the Mexican Mafia. The OC District Attorney's Office and local law enforcement were solving high-profile cases and making monthly local headlines for massive successful gang cases. Until October 12, 2011, when the deadliest mass shooting in OC's history went down. This crazy vato, named Scott Decray, entered Seal Beach's Meritage hair salon. Decray then killed his ex-wife and 7 other people inside, or in the parking lot of the Meritage hair salon. Decray was quickly arrested at the scene dressed in body armor and carrying numerous weapons. Scott Decray wasn't a career criminal, homies. He lived by no code of silence. He spoke with law enforcement and confessed to the crime. Slam dunk easy prosecution for the OCDA's office, you'd think. Wrong essay. The district attorney's office felt it was a good idea to send in several of OC jail shot caller snitches to run a routine confess or we'll fuck you up playbook scam on Decray, like they've done many times in the past to other inmates. Decray, having been previously conditioned by law enforcement, produced television shows like Gangland and MSNBC's Lock-Up series to be scared of prison, especially prison gangs like the Mexican Mafia. So Decray spilled the beans, fearing the alleged Mexican Mafia shot callers, who were really jailhouse snitches, would order him murdered inside the jail. During the court trial of Scott Decray, court-appointed lawyer, Assistant Public Defender Scott Sanders, who was also representing several other high-profile criminal cases, noticed the same jailhouse prisoners, who allegedly volunteered to give up information about fellow prisoners, were also somehow the main source of information for his other court cases and many others. Assistant Public Defender's case is the largest jailhouse snitch scandal ever in the American legal system, went quietly unnoticed by most, including the Chicano community. After the illegal jailhouse snitch scandal was exposed, naming Oscar Moriel as a high-level jailhouse informant who supposedly confessed to committing 5 to 6 murders, jail assaults, stabbings, using illegal tactics to gather information, violating people's rights, and admitted lying on the stand in several cases, somehow managed to win a sweet deal for himself, even though many of the cases Oscar Moriel testified in fell apart because of the scandal. Many of Moriel's marks were released after only serving very light prison terms. Moriel in 2017 was sentenced to 17 years for his efforts as a prize jailhouse snitch. With time served, the dirtbag Moriel was released May 24, 2020, but it wasn't the last time anyone would hear about Moriel again. Instead of riding away into the sunset to hide in some witness relocation program, like the movies lead you to believe, Moriel returned to his old stomping grounds of OC, and began where he left off before his 2005 incarceration, a full-blown motel squatting drug addict. Now this is where the story gets good. Raza 3 months after getting released from prison, for his service as a jailhouse snitch in OC's jailhouse snitch scandal. Moriel is charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. He now faces 25 to life in prison once again. After many of the people Oscar Moriel tried to put away for the rest of their lives, who now have a second chance at life, Moriel himself is surely doomed to spend the rest of his life as an extra canteen, cigarette, and food tray earning prison snitch on some SNY yard. Maybe the goon squad will use his notoriety as an informant, and have Moriel appear on one of their many new popular YouTube channels they secretly operate, like Stories by a Current Prisoner. The thousands of dollars he was paid for lying on the stand most likely was smoked up in his 3 months of freedom. Maybe if Moriel still has money somewhere, someone can put it on his books for candy bars and top ramen soups. Oscar Moriel might have posted bail for now, but cannot avoid having to do more time, possibly running into one of the many people he snitched on. Often the Raza is fed fantasy stories of noble, courageous informants who go against everything they're raised to believe in, to do the right thing, when the reality is 99% of the time it's some highly questionable informant who's unreliable, unremorseful, and often more violent than the actual people they testified against. There's a dark side to the snitch game that they will never tell the 6 9s of tomorrow. Rarely does an informant walk away from his past. The system is designed for you to always lose, like a Las Vegas casino. The house always wins. The snitch might win his temporary freedom and some money only because the system knows the informant will fuck up again, returning to prison, have his money confiscated by the courts, and wind up serving the system for life. For the fake mainstream media doesn't just sell a false fantasy of gangsterism and cholo culture to the homies, it also sells a Willy Wonka chocolate factory illusion of snitching, like the character Charlie. Only a rare small few are noble, doing things for the right reasons. The majority have selfish, greedy, and vindictive reasons for snitching, so blind by their selfish interest to see the physical bars of prison may be gone, but the mental bars have now become institutionalized, permanent in your mind, locked away from your old life, segregated from your family and friends you once had, permanently placed on witness protection, house arrest, stripped of your identity, doomed to live under the microscope of law enforcement forever. Boxer Enriquez got a little bit of money, but no freedom, forced to bust cellmates' cheeks instead of a woman's. Mundo's free on the streets, but not free to choose his own thoughts. Henry Hill died, a broke, drug-addicted short-order cook in some tiny highway diner for truckers. Robert Grattan dies before he can see any real money from his book. Greg Scarpa dies of AIDS, while Boston's rat Irish mob boss Whitey Bulger is beat to death on some federal prison yard. And there's the rest of the silent majority of these snitches, serving a self-imposed sentence of LWAP on meth or heroin addiction in some roach-infested 8x10 motel bathroom. Forced to be the bottom of the barrel informants, the ones who snitch just to remain free another day to smoke or shoot up some more poison until they become some mindless zombie. Well, Raza, that's enough ranting. Stay suited and booted for another banger from the Outlaw News. The voice of the voiceless. The voice of the Vato Loco Venceremos.
This is for the court to have...
Well, let me tell you this right now. This goes in a file that I have for you and gets locked in a safe that no one but I have access to, and it never ever comes out. But for us to go into an agreement with each other, to do something with each other, I need you to sign this.
All right.
That means you're doing stuff for me, and then I'll be doing stuff for you.
All right, but what about court? This is saying that it's just going to be consideration, right?
Right, which is what anything we do for you is called, no matter what it is. So
I have no guarantee at all. We're doing nothing.
I'd be lying to you if I told you anything other than that. But no one would ever help anyone if we ever fuck somebody over one time, right?
No, yeah, that's true.
And you know we do. But I would be lying to you if I told you anything other than you'll get maximum consideration for everything you do. You do a lot, and we do a lot. You do a little, and you get a little. You've already done a lot, right? But you're looking at a lot, so we need a lot. Understand?
Yeah.